So now let's move on to styling this list of links. And I'll warn you, the first time you see this may be a little confusing. But after you've done this a few times, I think you'll come to appreciate how using an unordered list like this for links is actually a very elegant solution. And there are a gazillion, okay, so maybe a gazillion isn't really a word, but there are many, many, many ways that you can style an unordered list to change the look of it for your links. I'm going to start with a relatively simple way to style this list. I'll show you a more complex one in a later lesson. And I'll tell you that if you search the internet, you will find many, many, many different approaches to styling lists. The basic idea, and I'll use the split screen to show you what I mean, is that we're going to change the style for the UL tag. And if you're not familiar with HTML yet, the UL tag is what creates the unordered list, UL. And the LI tag is what creates the list item, LI. So if we change the tag style for those two tags, we can radically change the display of this collection of elements. We also want to go ahead and make them links so that we can change the link style to further change the way they look. So let me just set these as links. You can use the little link box down here, and you can browse for a file. Or if you know the name of a file, you can just type it in. And here's another little trick that's kind of cool. If you want to link to the paintings page from here, you can point to File, just click on this little icon here, and drag over to the index page in Paintings, and that's where we want to link the paintings page. I'm going to close up CSS for a moment so you can see this as I do this. Drag down my Files panel. The next one is Cards. And I want to just get the text. It definitely wants that little LI. Sometimes when you're working in Dreamweaver, you have to be very careful about how you select things, or you'll get more or less than you intend. So if I open up Cards, I want to link the word Cards actually to the Note Cards page, and I want to link Prints to the Prints page. Barry Lopez Books goes into the Barry folder. By the way, as I'm doing this, you may notice that I have a number of index pages throughout this site. That's a nice trick for creating a very simple web address. Remember I said at the beginning that you should call your home page index.html or default.html, and that's because the server will deliver or serve the index page first to a browser? Well, after the home page, as you get into subdirectories like Barry or Cards, if you name the first page within that subsection index, then that's also a page that the server will serve first. What that means is that if you wanted somebody to go to the Cards section of Robin's site, you could simply tell somebody that all they have to type into a browser is robineschner.com/cards, and they wouldn't actually have to type in that index.html, because that's going to automatically be served when somebody gets to that address. So using the index naming structure within subdirectories just lets you create shortened addresses. One more example, if you go to janinewarner.com/books, you'll get to my bookstore without having to type in a long, complicated address. It's just a nice trick when you want to be able to call attention to subsections of a site. So if I keep linking here, biography, let me stretch this out a little bit. You see bio is actually up here. They're in alphabetical order in this list. You can change the order, by the way, by clicking on this little arrow up here. If you don't like the order that they're in on your screen, you can adjust that. Contact. And finally, the order page. Okay. So we have all of our links linked. They're all styled as an unordered list. And we're ready to create styles that will change the display of this list. So let's go ahead and go back to Design, open our CSS panel back up, and we're ready to create some new styles.